right? We are the Hebrew Israelites, and once again, we out here in Austin, preaching the Lord's word to the people on the sign. Get a shot in the sign, brother. And yeah, we out here to preach the word to the people who are listed on this sign, the so-called black man, so-called Mexican, so-called Native American. And we out here to give you understanding as to why you living in the circumstances that you're living in, as to why you look the way that you look, as to why you're the most downtrodden in the whole world.
Right.
Wherever there's a city, there's a project. Who's in those projects? In just about every city, especially in America, but all over the world. You know, we're out here to explain to you why you're in those conditions, why you're constantly complaining, why you're even when you have money, even a nigga that won the lottery. It's the same thing. Curses don't go away.
They don't. They even got a show, if you don't mind me saying it, but they even got a show called The Curse of the Lottery, where people just not happy regardless, even when they win millions of dollars. They can win the biggest lottery out there and still be miserable as hell and they end up dead, in jail, or people just suck them dry of all their damn money.
Exactly.
Or they done used it all up on drugs. I mean, the list goes on and on, you know,
Exactly.
as far as the curses, man.
Exactly. So, I want to go ahead and get the scripture. Go ahead and get that Deuteronomy 28. Well, actually, get to Deuteronomy 28 and 1 first. Get that
God.
first.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
That's right. Now, the Lord said through Moses that if you keep his commandments and do what he says, then life will be beautiful.
That's right.
You'll live a wonderful life, and the Most High will be with you because you keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. So if you simply do what the Father says to do, then everything is okay, right? But niggas don't want to do that. So-called Mexican, so-called Native American, so-called Puerto Rican, you don't want to do that, right? You want to make up your own laws. You want to make up your own statutes and your own commandments, and then you want to get mad when you're getting shot in the streets, getting killed in the streets for no reason, getting gunned down for no reason. Who you mad at? You could be mad at the so-called white man, but you also got to put that on yourself, especially a nigga like Mike Brown. Was he keeping the law, statutes, and commandments? Was he going with the Lord's word? No, because he stole a box of cigarettes. Not only did he steal, he's smoking cigarettes. Right?
And if I could say this, just before they got that verdict on whether Darren Wilson was going to get indicted or not, you had a 12-year-old who got murdered for having a damn air gun. Little 12-year-old. And that was because of that stupidity, man.
That's right.
You took the sticker, pointing the gun at people, and you took the sticker off, not making people aware that that's a toy gun or it was a different type of gun. It looked real. How can how can you truly feel sorry for someone like that? You know what I'm saying? It don't justify what Esau do. I'll never justify Esau's wickedness. But this is, you already know they out there killing us. So why are you continuing on with that type of stupidity?
But at the same time, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. If you're gonna have proper judgment, like this brother's talking about, then you can't just because somebody's black, you can't just take their side automatically. Now, in these cases, we don't know everything that's going on. We only know what they tell us. And then even this part that you believe, that's still coming from the so-called white man. So we trying to have proper judgment. Now, I don't judge just because somebody's black, they're innocent. Just because somebody's a so-called white man, they're guilty. It's always proper judgment, right? Because the scriptures tell you who does the Lord use to be that weapon on the earth? He uses the so-called white man. So in some cases, that's just pure judgment. You did something, and the Lord used that so-called white man to take your ass out. And in some cases, we all know the so-called white man is a liar, a thief from the beginning, like Cain. So you got to judge that too, right? But we're going to stick to our people right now. We're going to stick to our people, and we're going to preach on the judgment that they failed to have. The reasoning that they failed to have. Cause we give the so-called white man, we give him the business, and we're gonna give him the business here in a minute too, Lord willing.
I mentioned something else
Go
too.
ahead.
Because you mentioned whether or not you're rich or you have money. You mentioned the lottery, right? And, you know, it's talking about if you got money, if you're rich, if you made it. Now you got the whole situation with Bill Cosby on the news too right now. And I mean, I've been listening to more and more of it and watching it. It is a possibility that he did do that. Just by the way he's conducting himself in the interviews, he's a very big. At first I was like, man, hell, he could. Then I'm watching the way he's answering interviews and doing this and that. He might have did that shit.
Yep.
Back that day. Now, if I finish my thought, what do you think life is like for him now? He ain't just happy. I mean, he walking around. He is one of the most famous people on the planet at one point in time. Still is a very famous person. Well, infamous now. So now he's got the whole world thinking or knowing, with the assumption rather, that he's been drugging women for a long period of time and raping them. Or sexually rape. Yeah, back to the 60s, right? And sexually, rape's probably not the proper word. Sexually assaulting or sexually misusing them, how you want to put it, right? That's what the whole situation is putting out there. So if you're walking around and the whole world knows who you are, I mean, if something like that was put on us, I'm not saying we won't feel good, we won't feel bad about it, but the whole world don't know us like that. Somebody like him, literally the whole planet can see who he is at any given time. So you think he's happy right now, even though he's famous, has lots of money? Hell no. So in his mind, he's like, all these motherfuckers think I'm a rapist, whether or not he did it. That's
you know, and if I could add on to that, matter of fact, I want to read that verse that you got here before it goes into it, verse 28. Because I want to add on to
15.
Oh, well, I mean, but it's just going in on that type of stuff too.
Yeah.
All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 28. Start verse 15.
Yeah, I thought you had one yourself. Yeah, go ahead, 2015.
All right, we'll do 20 and 15, but I just want to add on a little bit more to that.
28 and 1 was saying if you keep the law, statutes, and commandments, the Lord is going to be with you and you'll be blessed. And as a matter of fact, just real quick, go back to that, 28 and 1, and just read a few verses after verse 1.
Okay, kind. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Right?
And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power.
So we're not going to read all of the blessings, but you were going to get, it's about 14 verses worth of just good, solid blessings coming from the Most High that nobody can take away from you, nobody can touch, right? If you would have followed verse 1, follow his law, statutes, and commandments, right?
That's right.
Now, being that you didn't, and we all know you didn't, go ahead and jump to verse 15.
All right, Con. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Now, who is Moses talking to? He was talking to the Israelites. Moses himself is an Israelite as well. So, get a picture of it, get a shot of this sign one more time. That's who Moses was speaking to. That's who the Lord's children are. That's who the Lord's people are, right? So that's what that applies to. You don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments, you going to hell. You're going straight to hell. No ifs, ands, or buts, right? Go ahead, just keep moving. We're going to read a few of the curses.
Gotta keep going?
Yeah.
All right. Curses shalt thou be in the city, and curse shalt thou be in the field. Curses shall be thy basket and thy store.
Jake is cursed in the field. If you have a job now, that's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? But Jake ain't got no, the majority of people on this side ain't got no good paying jobs. And if they have good paying jobs, Jake is in all kind of horrible positions, all kind of horrible spots in life. Got 7 kids, on child support, so can't enjoy it. None of the money is coming in.
That's
With
right.
the women, it's the same thing. Got 5 kids. Yeah, she getting child support from 5 different dudes, but you still got to take care of them 5 kids. Daycare, babysitting. And then all that heartache you got from them 5 badass kids. You know what I mean?
You ain't got no kind of comfortability. You're just not going to be comfortable.
You ain't got no peace in life. Why? Because of Deuteronomy 28:15. We didn't follow those laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? The Lord was speaking to the people on his side. He didn't tell the so-called white man this. The so-called white man is cursed day one. Before he even comes out the womb, he cursed. Right? It doesn't matter if he has dark skin, if he has light leprosy, clean leprosy, or dark skin like a Hamite. He's still cursed. He's a Hamite. I'm sorry, he's a cracker. You the one. A Hamite's cursed too. Go ahead.
Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kin and the flocks of thy sheep.
You ain't gonna have nothing.
That's right.
Jake ain't got nothing, ain't gonna get nothing. Look at the so-called Mexican. They climbing over walls to get over here, not to get good jobs over here, just to be cutting lawns.
Yeah.
You're going through the dangers and rigors of the desert, all kinds of rough terrain, just to be able to get over here and cut some grass, pick some oranges in the field. That's not life. You can't tell me that's life. You can't tell me that's life. They sitting in those containers on the back of those trucks. I got you just one second.
You good, huh?
Those trailers, those on the back of 18-wheelers, some of them are dying, no air in the truck. Trains, the same thing. On the ships, the same thing. But you ain't coming over here to be CEOs of companies, to be, you know what I'm saying, to be in high levels of society. You coming over here to pick oranges for pennies a day, living in tents out in fields, picking grapes for the so-called white man's wine. He's making billions off the wine while paying you a quarter. And then using you is just expendable. You die out there in the field, he drag you by your foot and throw you in the fire, and it ain't like, it's like you never even existed.
That's right.
You climbing and going through all the hell just to pick oranges, just to do that. That's cursed. The so-called Negro, they ain't no better. They shooting you in the streets, making up laws as they go, laughing at you the whole time. And then even it comes out that it was all the law was fake, all this was fake, all the evidence was fake. They still don't do nothing. Yeah. Until 25 years later. You've been in prison 25 years, they come out and give you $1 million.
Sometimes they don't even do that.
Exactly.
They don't. I was going to say.
Hurricane Carter, he was a famous boxer.
Yeah,
he had a little something in society. Yep. They did him like that.
Remember that it was before, I think it was right before a Mayweather fight, that his name is Dewey, light-skinned cat.
Yeah.
He did like 23, 24 years in prison for a murder he didn't commit. They tried to get him to take a plea, I guess it's a plea bargain, that basically say, look, I did it. Even though he didn't do it, he said they were trying to get him to admit that he, or say that he did, so then they would give him a lesser sentence or just let him out right then and there. But him, this is how, even amongst 2/3, but Jake in general has some sort of a conscience. For the most part, he didn't want to go around with that stigma of being like people knowing in their minds that he murdered them, that it was some lady. So he did his time, and then they finally, some kind of loophole or law or whatever, let him out like almost a quarter of a century later. And then he had a boxing match, he had a big pay-per-view. But I mean, he snatched away. He was younger than I am now. It's like this brother's age when they put him away.
Yep.
Some cold shit took away his whole youth. Gone.
His life. Now now, although he may have all this money, you got the mindset of somebody that's been in prison 25, 30 years, that's a ruined person.
Yes,
you can't just walk out and start enjoying life after 25 years, 30 years. There's even people so bad that they try to go back just because they don't understand life.
It's different.
And then you're coming in America, there's no love out here. Nobody trying to help you. Nobody trying to do anything. If you come out and you see you got money, everybody wants your money. everybody's coming out of woodworks trying to get your money, right? So these people on these signs, the rich, the poor, the up, the down, the ones you know, the ones you don't know, they all cursed. They all cursed. The so-called Mexican, the Venezuelan, the Peruvian, the Brazilian, they all cursed. They talk about Brazil all the time having just this high volume of AIDS down there. How did that happen? Somebody will say, well, the white man dropped AIDS off on the coast. You can say that, and that's probably true, but the main answer is the Most High. Curse these people.
Yeah.
He cursed these people. I don't care how good you look, you still curse. And I think those are some of the most beautiful people on earth. Actually.
That's true.
But you curse. I ain't going down there, not with the threat of
Catch us.
You got that.
Much as you want to.